This Fleet Equipment Unscripted interview is presented by Hendrickson, a leading manufacturer of heavy-duty suspension systems and components to the global commercial transportation industry. Visit hendrickson-intl.com to learn more.
Hi, everyone. Jason Morgan, Content Director for Fleet Equipment. Welcome to Fleet Equipment Unscripted. I have something really different for you today, something that I know it's been coming here for a while, so I'm super excited to finally get to share some of this. I had a really cool opportunity earlier this spring to attend Hino Trucks National Parts Conference. I was invited out. They were doing something really cool. So it's an event. They bring all their biggest suppliers, dealers come in. They were going to talk about the latest truck trends, technology, equipment, everything. Right? They invited me out to host live podcasts on stage in front of people, which was super cool. Honestly, it was one of the first times that I've done this kind of thing live. Usually I get there's like an edit button, but there was no edit button here. We were all live. So they were kind enough to share the footage with some of those conversations with me, and I wanted to share all with you. So here's the first in probably a series that we'll do here on Unscripted to share some of these conversations that are super relevant and super interesting. Enjoy, and I look forward to sharing even more of these conversations from Hino Trucks National Parts Conference with you more in the future. Enjoy. So we'll start here again, as we've done with everyone. Just kind of, if you could take a moment, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What makes you famous?
Hi, I'm Doug White, and I'm the Certified Ultimate Manager here, and I work for Mark Dysarz.
Mark Dysarz. Good afternoon, evening, everybody.
That's right.
We're having a blast. I'm Senior Manager of Dealer Development and Operations.
Very good. So I'm going to kick us off here. So I know the Toyota connection with Hino, right, and how that may bring over some practices and something, the 5S philosophy I've known as I've talked to the Hino folks. Can you kind of tell me what that 5S philosophy is and how does it help improve the parts department?
Absolutely. The 5S philosophy, something that's embraced by our Hino dealers, and what the 5S actually stands for is sort. So sorting, getting rid of the clutter, getting the right things in the right places, setting, putting the parts where they're accessible, where you can find them, shining, so keeping the parts department clean and sanitized, what's important today. Standardized, so taking those best practices and standardizing them through the department. And then what is typically one of the more difficult parts of the 5S, and that's sustain. So that's keeping those best practices, keeping the momentum going, doing your checks, and when it's all said and done, ultimately, see how I did that? It's a great customer service driver, great employee satisfaction driver, just a great philosophy that we all subscribe to.
Yes, and Jason, just to add to that, when the 5S is really mastered, the culture of it at a dealership, we're seeing customer-focused processes that you can see positive growth in parts, service, and sales. Okay. Just an example would be just efficiencies alone, whether it's stocking, or just selling cross-functionally to service or new sales.
Right.
By putting on parts on new trucks even, like chrome bumpers or mats, adding them as part of the sale. So that's what makes it really exciting when they start to work cross-functionally through those processes.
Right, very cool. Well, and I love the sustain. It was sustain, right? That was the big. The big one. Well, and because that's the crux of it, right? I mean, being consistent, continuing to do the processes, continuing to have it become almost a muscle memory, so that you stay in line with it, because it's so easy to get into your own head or your own kind of habits, right? So staying on that is super important. Can you? Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say we like when it becomes second nature, when it becomes just the culture around the dealership. So when there's personnel changes, when there's procedure changes, the 5S can stay in place and adapt.
Right. Very cool. So you mentioned how it can impact the dealers there. Do you have any tips for those high-performing dealers, the dealers that can do this really, really well? What are they doing in those parts departments that make them successful, and what can some other dealers kind of steal from them to make them successful in a competitive market right now?
Yeah, I would say in a nutshell, these dealers have one thing in common. They're very committed to taking that customer experience to the next level. So they'll do that, and then they build upon it year after year with Kaizen initiatives, and we see it in their parts growth.
One of the things Mark and I get to see as we travel around the country and we see some of these high-performing dealers is when you step into the parts department, you know that there's a Hino presence there, the Hino style display, the pure Hino display, the Hino pictures and posters on the wall. These are the guys that have really embraced that portion of the business, and we see the success. In fact, certified ultimate dealers, I don't mind saying, on average, sell about twice as many parts as a non-certified dealer in a comparable market.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll add even further that our dealers do a heck of a job out there providing this ultimate ownership experience. And that means that they're communicating to that customer throughout the ownership life cycle and really delivering on that total customer support touch point.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and you mentioned the certification, the Certified Ultimate. Can you just tell me a little bit about that program, too, about what makes it stand out and why is it important?
I think we only have a few minutes because I could talk for hours about this. Certified Ultimate, yep, my pride and joy. Certified Ultimate is our dealer excellence program. We have 49 dealers that we have certified, and they meet a rigid set of standards that actually I play a role in the sustainment, the difficult part.
Right.
So we ask these dealers to do some certain standards, to maintain these standards, and I come along once a year and make sure they're doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. So again, sustainment is where we focus on that.
Yeah, you get the report card then. I mean, my kid just came home with the report card, so
You got it.
It's exciting and also you want to make sure you're doing the right things, but good to check in. You mentioned the customer experience, and that's something that I think even across the industry has been a big focus on. We've been talking a lot about it here. How you manage your customers and communicate with them. How you deal with drivers when they roll onto the lots and you're dealing with them and trying to get them through the service process. What are some of the things you see the most successful dealers doing in the way of improving that customer experience?
Our high-performing dealers, really invest in the parts marketing. So whether or not it's at the dealership, and it's not just a dealership, we're talking online presence. So Hino over the years has done a tremendous job working with our dealers to help them with their online marketing, whether it's to build awareness or to do direct marketing to drive part sales, let's say, right?
Right.
So whether or not we're advertising online at the dealership or on the side of a parts delivery truck, Hino parts marketing is happening and they're building sales day and day because of that marketing consistently.
Very cool.
Yeah, and you're exactly right about the customer experience because these days, everybody has good product. That's just the way it is. That's the price of entry. So it's the customer experience that's going to keep that customer in the fold and coming back again for sure.
Right, very cool. Well, hey, I mean, this has been a wonderful event. I appreciate you guys having everybody out, having me out. I've had a blast talking with everybody. Final words, anything else that you think dealers should talk about or get in touch with as they're walking around the show here? What should be their focus or maybe some low-hanging fruit that they should go after here?
That's a great question. I would say, besides this great event that we have to go out and talk to the vendors, but, these are partners of ours as well, right? So how can we partner with dealers? Is that local vendor in your area? Is there a way to leverage that? Is have a good partnership where it's a little bit of a trade more than a money thing, right?
Right.
So I think that would be something significant to try to do is build these relationships while you're here.
Right, for sure. And no better way to do it, honestly. I mean, we haven't been able to do this for like a year and a half, so I really appreciate you bringing everyone together. Thanks so much for the opportunity. You guys did a wonderful job. Great.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.